All right, this is Wolverine. He is a penning and sorting horse. He's a new horse for me. I've not seen him before, but seems like a pretty good dude. likes the scratches and likes me working this hair off that's shedding. That's a good boy. Oh. So as always with new horses, I just kind of take my time, try to figure out what feels good on them and build a little rapport. He's an itchy dude, probably because all this hair is sloughing off. So this is feeling good for him. So just building a little bit of trust, a little rapport, just kind of dragging my fingers down his back and doing something that feels good for him. He was initially just a little bit hesitant to let me get a halter on him, and when that's the case, I know I have to spend a little bit more time with them initially, kind of building this trust and getting them to relax before I can just jump in there and start adjusting. Oh my goodness, who is this? Holy smokes, I haven't seen you in forever. Hello. My moderator extraordinaire is back. I was worried about you, Cindy. I've been live a few times, but not as much as I have been in the past, just because like YouTube's been kind of stingy on like sharing the lives and stuff. So I've been doing it mostly over on TikTok, but TikTok is so stingy with their payments now. It's like I got to get back on YouTube. Yeah, I did miss you, man. Who am I going to banter with if you're not on here? These are Wranglers. I've tried to get a Wrangler sponsorship, but you know, they're just ignoring me. Let's see. But I'm glad to see that you're still above ground. Oh. Let's see. So far, just palpating his back, he feels pretty darn good. He's not really dropping or showing me that he's got any pain in his back at all. And you know, while I'm doing those scratches and working his coat off and just making him feel good, the whole time I'm doing that, I'm just evaluating where I'm pushing to see if there's any pain or discomfort anywhere. But so far he feels pretty good. But he's a pretty badass little penning and sorting horse from what I've been told. So he might just be one of those horses too that don't show you a whole lot. So that's where a lot of motion palpation comes in, range of motion checks, pressure points, because you can really see how they're feeling. Even if they're not reactive, you can see how they're feeling based on how they move when you hit those pressure points. So I love to use those for that purpose. Cruises. Oh my gosh, I need to do that this summer. Hello from Dublin. Awesome. Thanks for hopping in. Where'd you cruise to, Cindy? All right, so I'm gonna check. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see that on here, but he's a little sore in his booty on both sides. A little sore in his glute medius muscle, which is one of their primary extensor muscles of the hind legs. So I'm just going to do a little soft tissue work here, see if I can get some of this inflammation out of there and some of the spasm out of there so he can relax in these muscles a little bit. I know, buddy. He's like, man, that hurts my butt. Come on. Good boy. Come this way. I need them to see your booty. There you go. Good boy. So I'll just use a little lighter pressure since he's a little sensitive Sally, it looks like. There we go. Ooh, good boy. There we go. So sometimes it just requires a little less pressure, because if you put too much pressure into the muscle and that makes them tense up, you're obviously not going to get them to relax. So if you just ease up on your pressure a little bit, if they're kind of dancing around on you like he was, light pressure to get rid of some of the pain and discomfort in their muscles. It seems like every time they drop their head down like that, that's a good indication that you can release the pressure. And then when I go back in there and palpate, it typically seems to be all gone if I just wait for that. So if you're doing any type of soft tissue work on your horses, you know, everybody is always focused on the licking and chewing, but pay really close attention to head position, because what I'm looking for is head below the wither. If they'll drop the head below the wither and I release, then I can typically go back and palpate and that pain is all gone. I don't know, Gouda has been in here. He's been in on the morning lives, but we're always like, where's Cindy? we need to get your number so we can text you an SOS. All right, so I'm going to check the other side as well. Typically, if they're sore in one glute, they're going to be sore on the other side as well. Yeah, and he's not as sensitive over here. I don't think this side's bad at all, actually. Beautiful. See, head below the wither. If I'm back here palpating, if you're ever palpating your horse and you're feeling for muscle pain and you think something hurts, if their head is down like that, it doesn't hurt. It's not painful. As soon as you hit something painful, that head will shoot up. And I'll show you if I can find something that's uncomfortable for them. For him, you'll see his head kind of shoot up. It's a pretty tough dude. That's uncomfortable, but just a little bit there. Hyoid sore too, so we definitely have some front end work to do. But yeah, if you're palpating and suddenly the head shoots up, that's pain. If their head is down below the wither and he's just hanging down here like that, even if you think he's in pain, he's not. That's a parasympathetic position. It's a resting and digesting position, which they won't be in if they're in pain. So, man, it just warmed up out here. It was like nice and cloudy and a little windy and a little chilly, but it felt good. Now the sun's out. It's getting hot. Holy Ghosts is truth acts. What the heck? I have no idea what that means. Can anybody translate that for me? Yeah, please hit the thumbs up, guys. I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, so let's see. I want to see if he'll come around and touch his shoulders for me. Let's see. And I haven't worked on him before, so sometimes you just have to be patient and let them figure it out. Almost. He's like, yeah, I thought I did what you just asked me. Let's see. So I want him to come around and touch my hand, not come around and come up short like he did here. Boom, boom, perfect. And now, usually on new horses, once they figure it out on one side, the other side will be much quicker. Let's see if he proves me right. Yep, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But we did have a pull problem, didn't we? Look at that. That's uncomfortable right there. And a lot of people will go, oh my gosh, you know, or they'll say my horse's pole is out because they come up here and he's not comfortable. Let's check this side. So both sides are actually sore. This right side seems to be a little worse than the left. Let's check the left one more time. Oh, they're about the same. So if I have the pole being sore on both sides, the way that I try to determine which side is the most uncomfortable is by palpating the hyoid up under here and seeing which side here is sore. So let's check left side. Left side feels pretty good. Let's check the right side. Right side, see? So we got right side hyoid soreness and bilateral pole soreness. So bilateral just means both sides. Unilateral would mean one side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna treat this as if the right side of the hyoid over here is causing the problem. And what I do is I take the tongue out opposite the most sore side or opposite the side of hyoid pain, which for him, opposite of that is going to be the left. So I just take the tongue out and I just hold it. And for all the haters out there, which there's a lot more haters on TikTok than YouTube, I'm not pulling the tongue. I'm not tractioning the tongue. So I hope you guys watch the video all the way through and don't go, you should never pull the tongue. Because there's a lot of Karens out there that'll be like, you should never pull the tongue. And I'm like, in my video, I'm not sure how many times I say, don't pull the tongue. But I say it all the time and they still get their panties in a bunch. So literally I'm just holding on to it. I'm not pulling it. I'm not tractioning it, just holding it, letting him work the tongue, which causes the muscles that control the tongue, which attach to the hyoid, to contract and relax and contract and relax. Oh, and that just gets those muscles to release. So that's all I'm doing here, just holding the tongue, not pulling it, just in case anybody didn't hear that the first 5 times. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Good, so I just hold this for a good 20, 30 seconds, somewhere in there. I'm waiting for him to stop pulling as hard or waiting for him to give me that nice little head drop. One of the two. Or sometimes what they'll do is they'll just release the tongue and it'll just go, and it'll just kind of hang loosely out of their mouth. There we go. There we go. So now he's not pulling nearly as hard. So I'm going to let that go. I'm going to give him his head, let him lick and chew and head shake and yawn, do whatever he wants to do. And then when he's all done with that, I'll go ahead and recheck it. But it's important for you to let him lick and chew and move his head around and really feel how that feels now, because before it was sore, now it's not. So now he really needs to move that around so he can figure out that it doesn't hurt anymore, and hopefully he can use his body a little bit better. Hello, Susan. Thank you for being on the live. Thank you guys for hopping in the live. Man, it looks like we got 55 people in here and we got 16 likes. If you guys don't mind tapping that thumbs up for me, I'd really appreciate it. Means a lot to YouTube when we have people liking and commenting and sharing, and then they'll share it to more folks. So if you don't mind hitting the like for me, I would greatly appreciate that. I can never remember if it's a heart button or a thumbs up, but I think it's a thumbs up on YouTube, is it not? There we go. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that little bump. All right, so now that I had taken the tongue out to the left, I'm going to go back to the right and recheck his pull and see how that's feeling now. There we go. So completely gone. I won't even hold on to him. And of course he's like, I'm out. There we go. So you can see like that's completely gone. Let's check under here too, see if we cleared up this hyoid discomfort. Yep. That's all gone as well. And then I just want to check this out. Sorry, I got a phone call. Did that freeze up on you guys? Hopefully that frees up. I just had a phone call come in and it froze up on my side. All right, so basically I was just showing you guys that this is all cleared up just by taking the tongue out. It cleared up that side and it cleared up this side as well. Sometimes when you're working on a horse with a sore poll and you take the tongue out opposite the most sore side, you'll still have a little bit of lingering discomfort on the other side, right? So I'll have to take the tongue out to both sides in order to clear it up. But the vast majority of the time, if you can determine which side of your horse's poll is the most uncomfortable and take the tongue out opposite of that, it'll clear up both sides. And that's what happened with him. I just took it out to the left side, but it cleared up the left and the right side. So that's typical and obviously what I like to see. So I'm just gonna bring him forward just a touch. Good boy. And I'm gonna hit some pressure points in his pelvis so that he lifts his back up. So you'll see this when I hit here, see his back come up there? Watch, up, up, up. Woo! A lot of releases in there. Beautiful, good boy. Oh, I know it's gotta feel weird for them when I hit these pressure points because their body, you know, when I do this, like their bodies are moving involuntarily. It's kind of like when the doctor hits your patella tendon with that hammer, and your knee goes, your leg flings out. It's kind of the same thing. I hit the pressure point and their bodies move involuntarily. So it's not like I can explain to him what I'm about to do. So I'm always so surprised that they just stand here and let me do all this stuff. Hello, Carolyn. Frank, thank you guys for being in here. Germany, hello, Charlotte. Thanks for hopping in from Germany. Appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you for all the likes, you guys. We still have like 35 people out there that can hit that heart button for me or the thumbs up button for me. I would really appreciate it if you're enjoying the live. All right, and then the next thing I like to do if there was soreness at the pole is just try to bring their head down towards the chest. And initially you'll see like they want to rock backwards, like you can see them leaning back. There we go. Beautiful. But I'm just feeling for that pole to start to lock up and tighten up before I get to the end of that full range of motion. And that's where I do the adjustment. But for the stretch, you just want to kind of take them down nice and slowly, walk them down towards the chest to get that good stretch of those muscles up at the pole, which we call the suboccipital muscles, which their job is to do this. So to stretch it, we do that. That's all I was doing there. And then I put a little bit of an adjustment in there as well. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that, sir. Thanks, Dusty. The biggest horse I worked on was an 18-hand dressage horse in Wellington, Florida. His name was, what was his name? His name was Romulus, which that's a perfect name for a horse that's that big. He was absolutely massive. Thank God he was gentle and very well behaved. All right, so let's get his front legs done. Oh. Where are you all watching from? I'd love to know where you're located. I know we got a Scotland and a Germany in here. Where are you at, Cindy? I'm sure you've told me before. Just don't remember. Good boy. There we go. Easy, easy. Looks like he's got a little discomfort in that shoulder. You can kind of see him pulling away from me while I'm stretching that out. Easy. Yeah. Not too happy in that shoulder there. Oh, easy, easy. Kind of lifts the leg weird too when I ask him to give me his foot. Usually when you ask a horse to lift their leg up off the ground, they'll just kind of stand there and they'll go boop. They'll kind of just lift the foot up, kind of a little bit of bend in the knee, a little bit of bend in the fetlock, and they'll just give it to you. But what he's doing when he lifts up, he bends it, but then he brings the whole shoulder forward. I'm not sure if you guys could see that. And that's not normal. But I will check the other leg too and see if he does both sides the same way. Because when I'm checking a horse, I'm mostly concerned about symmetry, right? Not symmetry in the structure, because the structure is not symmetrical. Our structure isn't symmetrical from side to side, neither is theirs. But what I'm talking about as far as symmetry is how they move. Do they move the same left to right? And if they don't, and one side is normal, and the other side is kind of funky, then, I'll just refer that back to the vet so they can get a good look at that. Vegas, Colorado, oh man, that's a big change. I moved from Colorado to Arizona. Yeah, 18-hand horse is insane, insane. Hawaii, awesome. Thanks for watching from Hawaii. 18 hands is not smaller than a Clydesdale. Clydesdales are 18 hands. I mean, they're not any bigger. They're wider for sure, but Romulus he could definitely match up with the Clydesdale as far as size goes, for sure. He has 1 horsepower. He's 1 horse. Ohio, thank you for watching from Ohio, Truth Seeker, appreciate it. Behind you, are you that mare over there, Cindy? Yeah, I hope you're following me, Dusty. I love to teach. It's like one of my favorite things to do. Cindy's garden is in SoCal. I'm from SoCal. Where in SoCal, Cindy? Let's see, AZ. Where in Arizona? That's where I'm at, Dusty. I'm working in Queen Creek right now. Tennessee, love some Tennessee. Gouda, there's Gouda. Holy smokes, we got Gouda and Cindy in here at the same time. It's a reunion. Hello, Dan. Thanks for watching from Michigan, Pittsburgh. Kate, thanks for watching. He's like, hey, we're not finished here. Look, he's like sticking his nose under my armpit. On the sea, on the sea. Texas, Ireland, awesome. Another Ireland. Thank you, Dusty. Thanks for the sub. Oh, Beaumont. Yep, I drive past Beaumont to visit my family. Sarah. Hello, Sarah Samara. Trouble's brewing. Uh-oh, that's not good. OKC. I know where you're at, Gouda. Amen, Airsoft. Northeast Oklahoma. Awesome. People watching from everywhere. All right, let's check this other leg. So one thing I just wanted to show you guys one more time when I pick up this left front. Watch how he picks it up. I'm going to try to act like a horse. He picks it up and then he brings the leg forward, right? He should just go whoop and just give me the foot. But he does this and then brings the leg forward. So I'm going to show you that. Watch, I'm going to pick it up. You see how the shoulder comes forward? That's not normal. Shouldn't be doing that. Should be extending that thing, if anything, or actually flexing it, going back behind. Let's see if he does the same thing here. Just want to do that one more time. Good. So he's not doing it here. This side is normal. There's a slight amount of extension when I pick up the foot, but nowhere near what he's doing on the left side. Good boy. Oh, there's a nice release in that knee there. So I'm going to give that to him for a second. I think he's got something brewing on the left side, though. Something up high, something in the shoulder, I think, is bothering him on the left front. Eastern Tennessee, Safford. All right. I have some rope clients up in Safford. Okay. I don't know if it's a terrible thought, but it's a weird thought. I'll give you that. You heard that? I heard that. Ride the house. Hemet, California. I know they got some barrel races in Hemet. All right, so I'm going to go finish that right front. See what we get here. Yeah, you see how he picks that one up? That's normal. That's what I expect. Oh. But you can see, not only is he picking that left front up kind of weird, he also seems a little bit uncomfortable putting all that weight on that side too. He's kind of hopping around. When I pick up the right side, he's not real comfortable standing fully on that left side. Yeah, for sure. I think so too, Gouda. 7 horses. Holy moly. You better be doing a lot of riding if you have 7 horses. No, right side's fine. Left side's bad. I don't know if it's backwards. Let me look at my logo. Yeah, it's backwards. So I'm actually standing on his right side right now. You got to look at it as if like you're looking in a mirror. So everything's backwards. Yeah, so if I'm facing him right here, his left side is over here, his right side's over here. So it's flipped. So my left hand is here, my right hand is here. So I think it's flipped. Yeah, mirror for sure. I wish there was a way to flip that around. That'd be nice. I don't know if there is, but I'll have to look into that one. Hello, Hazel. All right, so we probably have a left front issue brewing on him. So I'm gonna check his hind legs, see how those feel. And if I have a left front issue, it might very well show up in the right. And look at that. Just the way he picks up that right hind is also a little bit abnormal. He did the same thing. So when I picked up that right hind, he did this, kind of brought the leg forward, which is the same thing he's doing on that left front. Very good example of how issues with horses show up on the diagonal. Have you had any issues with him in his left front? No? Because when I pick up this leg, you see how he does that? He like picks it up and brings it forward. The right front, he doesn't do that at all. Brings it right up. And then the right hind, he's doing the same thing he's doing on the left front. But if you're working him and he feels fine.
He just got rode Sunday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just wondering if something's kind of bothering him there, but if he feels good when you're riding him.
Well, I don't ride him. Wesley does, but
oh, he does.
Motherfucker's on. He's on target.
Really?
Yeah. What you know what the price tag would be, so I can make that check out to you just in case?
Yeah, let me. Are we good? Are we back? Can you guys hear me? Thumbs up. Hope I didn't lose you guys. Let's see. Uh-oh. Hey, there we go. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to give the client a little privacy, so. Oh my gosh. It shows there's everybody bailed. That was fast. Holy moly. There was like 70 people in here. Now we're down to 11. But I get it. You guys probably thought I was gone or the phone died or whatever. All right. Let me just check his left hind. After him, I got one more horse to do. I'm going to work on Big Jake, who's literally standing right here. Oh, big release in that hip right there. Whew, whew. Good boy. Good boy. Could you guys hear that one? Oh, we're climbing back up. I'm back. Yep. Sorry about that, everybody. Awesome. Yeah, that was a big release in that hip there. This guy's name is Wolverine, and he's like, yeah, the owner's like, yeah, this is Wolverine. He's a new horse. You haven't done it before. He's like, yeah, he's a badass. He's a badass penning and sorting horse. I was like, if his name's Wolverine, he better be a badass. Otherwise, we're gonna need a name change stat. Good boy. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stretch his TMJs. I'm gonna use a little pressure point up on his gum line. If you guys want to learn any of the stretches that I'm doing or any of the mobilizations, not the adjustments, but everything else, just comment the word stretch and I'll send you a link to my shoulder extension stretch tutorial, which is really my favorite stretch for the front end. And if you like that one or you want to learn more, there's a link in the free tutorial to my stretching exercises for horses ebook. And there's a discount included in there too. So if you get the free stretch, you can grab a discount off the ebook. And I teach you how to do all these pressure points, all the stretches, all the mobilizations. And so you can learn how to work every area of their body, literally, and get them nice and loosened up and feeling good and performing at their best. So drop the word stretch and I'll send that over to you as soon as I get done with this live. Good boy. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so Wolverine is all done. Good boy. Good boy. Well, that's good. He doesn't seem like he wants to get out of Dodge too quickly. Good boy. All right, then I'll just go right next door to Big Jake. That's Big Jake right there. He's pretty sorrel as well. Next time I'll have to be like, hey guys, just give me a second, don't go anywhere. I didn't think I'd lose everybody that fast. That was crazy. All right, let's go and see Big Jake. And he's running away from me. Oh, there he is. He's coming back. I'll put you guys right there. Let's see. There we go. Hey, get it together, Gouda. Cindy's gonna ban you if you don't start texting correctly. She's a tough moderator. She doesn't put up with much. Let's see. Oh, very cool. That's cool, Cindy. Thank you, thank you. Hello, Angel. All right, let me. He's like, I saw what you did to that last dude. I'm not falling for this. Thanks, Cassie. I'll get that stretch over to you. Thank you, Dusty. I'll send that over to you as well as soon as I'm done here. All right. I've had 3 horses today here. He's my 7th one. I've had a few horses today that I approach them with the halter and they just bolt to the other end of the run. So let's see what Mr. Big Jake's gonna do. Oh, that's a good boy. That's a good boy. And there he goes. And Wolverine was a new horse for me, and so is Big Jake. So there he comes back. He's like, I'm just gonna run away for a second and see if you'll let me have my space. I always let them have their space. Hello from, who just said that? South Carolina. Hello, Doris. It's my grandma's name is Doris. Bob, I'm in Arizona. How about yourself? All right, here we go. Thank you, Cindy. All right, well, he looks like he's gonna maybe, nope, just kidding. All right, we'll do the old school thing and throw the lead rope around him. You stand here, please, sir. That way, if he runs away, I still have control. There he is. He's like, ah, shoot. I'm stuck. Wolverine, you be nice. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Ooh, good boy. It's all right, buddy. So a little bit more of a wild one here. This is Big Jake. Rhode Island. I think that's my first from Rhode Island. Oh, not rodeo ready. I was there this morning, though. I did have a live. No, I didn't go live this morning. I just made some videos. But yeah, was at rodeo ready this morning. If you guys are just hopping in and you don't mind hitting that like button, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Here we go. Oof. Beautiful. All right. Yeah, he's a little touchy. You can kind of see him just with palpation. He's just kind of spazzy and he's kind of twitching everywhere. Here, I'll show you. See if you guys can see this. Move him over this way. Oh. So watch right through here. If you can see, as I run my fingers down, you can see how much he's twitching there. Just not too comfortable. Let's check the right side. Same thing, just kind of not so much spazzy, but you can see as I bring my fingers down, he's kind of doing this, right? He's kind of leaning away from that pressure. So we got bilateral soreness in his back. And I want to check right down the middle and see if there's any pain going right down the middle of his back, which there is. So he's dropping on both sides and he's dropping with pressure down the middle. So that's a good indication that this horse needs to get his back x-rayed. So I'm going to try to loosen him up, get him a little bit more comfortable through his back. And if I can't, then I'll recommend to the client that they get him x-rayed just to make sure there's no degeneration, aka arthritis, going on in the spine. But anytime I see a horse with discomfort right over the top line like this, that's a red flag, because there's nothing over the spinous processes of the horses besides, ligament and a little bit of fat, and there's some connective tissue as well, but there's no muscle that's going right over the spinous processes of back. It's just like us, like right through here, you can kind of feel the bumps down your back, and it doesn't matter how much muscle you have, you can always drag your fingers right down somebody's back and feel bump, 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 because there's no muscle over the top of the spine. So if I'm palpating him right down the middle of his back and he's dropping away, obviously it's not muscle pain, it's something else. So it's either ligament or bone. And usually what happens is you'll get some arthritis between the spinous processes, which are the bones that stick up towards the top of the back. You know, they stick up like this and they'll get inflammation in between them because there's arthritic changes that can happen between the spinuses. And that inflammation will go up to the surface, irritate the supraspinous ligament that runs across the top of the back. And now you run your fingers down the back and they start to drop away. Or they can just have really severe arthritis that's causing pain, you know, straight through the ligament itself. But usually I think there's just some inflammation there from arthritic changes underneath. So a great thing to do for a horse that's having pain when you palpate down the middle of the back is just to work them in flexion. Get them to do a lot of backing, make sure that those glute muscles are firing properly, make sure they can flex their back nice and comfortably. And the more you flex a horse with a sore back, the better they're gonna feel. This is called the hula. The hula is just a nice little mobilization exercise that really works their back in lateral flexion. So when a horse bends, when he does this, different parts of the body are doing different things. So I'm getting a lot of rotation in the neck, but as I bring, I'm not sure how I can show you this if I'm this way. If I do this, you can see what my back does, right? My back does some rotation, but it also does this, and that's lateral flexion. This is lateral flexion. If I'm doing this, that's lateral flexion of the head and neck, but with the back, that's lateral flexion. And you can't rotate the back with also having a lateral flexion component in there as well. It's called coupled motion. So when I'm doing the hula and I'm having him move around my pressure, I'm checking lateral flexion. So his spine is actually going that way when I'm standing on this side. So as I'm pulling his butt towards me, good boy, good boy. As I'm trying to get him over so you guys can see this a little bit better. Good boy. Easy, easy, easy. This guy's got some buttons. So as I'm back here and I'm pulling his butt towards me and my top hand is right next to the spine, what I'm doing is I'm pulling his butt towards me like this and I'm pushing with this hand. So I'm doing this motion right here. And I'm just checking to see if his spine is free to laterally flex towards the right-hand side, the opposite side that I'm standing on. And his actually felt really good. So I'm gonna see if he'll flex for me with these pressure points. And with a horse like him, that's really actually pretty sensitive. Good boy, good boy. The last thing you wanna do is get in there and goose that reflex because it's just gonna set him off. So you just add your pressure nice and easy, and then you slowly ask him. And I do it like this. So I push, and then I just apply that little bit of a curl of my fingers towards the palms of my hands. So I'm kind of asking him, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Until I get him all the way up, and then it's just a quick pop, and he will hyperflex and get some nice releases through the back. But you don't want to go in there right away and be like, and dig, because he's just gonna blow up if you do that. So everything you do, especially with the pressure points, should be in an asking motion. So if you grab the ebook and you want to stretch your horses, it's very important to stretch nice and slowly through their comfort level, allow them to kind of control the stretch. And that way, you know, if they feel like something's tight or uncomfortable, they'll just pull away gently and take the leg back. But if you go too fast, they're just going to rip it out of your hands, and you know, you can make them more sore that way. So everything you do, it should be in an asking manner. It should be more of a dance with the horse. So as I'm working with the horse, I'm always tapping on things and using my body in an asking manner. I'm never trying to force them over, because you're not going to gain their trust that way. And if something hurts, they don't have the opportunity to take that part of their body away from you in a comfortable manner. So nice and slow. You got to be a good girl. That's right, Gouda. After that horse, where are you gonna go? He is my last horse of the day. He's my 10th horse. So I am done. Who are you talking to, Gouda? Yeah, so this is Big Jake. Thank you, Charlotte. I appreciate that very much. All right. Easy, buddy. You can see how jumpy he is, right? Even with the lead rope, he's like, I'm gonna get eaten. So the last thing you want to do with a horse like this is just be super quick. You want to be really deliberate. You want to use broad contacts, right? Broad contacts are more comfortable. They're less aggressive. Allows him to stay in as relaxed of a state as he can. So I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to get into that shoulder and hit a pressure point. And based on his demeanor, I'm expecting him to really snap around and come touch. So let's see what he does here. Whoop. Actually, he's pulling back instead of coming around. Let's see. Let's try that again. Easy, buddy. So I'm just starting with really light pressure. I'm just going to stick with that for a second. I'm going to get in there and just put a little bit of a pinch. Let's see if he'll come around. Good boy. Good boy. Beautiful. That was good. Didn't quite come around all the way. He didn't touch my hand, but he did come around, I would say 90% of the way. Good boy. And you can see this horse is, you know, it's just going to take him a minute to gain his trust. You know, he doesn't seem like he's hurting. He's not dangerous. He's not mean, but you can just tell maybe there was a little bit of, you know, I don't like to use the word abuse, you know, but maybe there was a little bit of abuse, or, you know, a trainer that was pretty heavy-handed or disciplined him quite a bit. You never really know. But it's almost like he's waiting to get in trouble. So, you know, with a horse like him, you just got to take your time, do a lot of rubs, a lot of scratches. You know, I have a habit of patting the horses, but you should really never pat your horse, because a horse can't tell the difference between a pat and a hit. And so you'll see a lot of barrel racers, especially a lot of pleasure horses, like after they show or compete, they'll sit here and they'll bam, 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 like in the saddle, they'll lean forward and smack the horse on the neck. But the horse doesn't know the difference. Even though you do, the horse doesn't understand the difference between being smacked and being hit. And so they feel like, oh, I must have done something wrong. I did something bad, when you're actually just meaning to tell them good boy, good girl, you know? So good girl, right, Gouda? So just try to be aware that when you're trying to praise your horse, the best thing you can do, really the best thing you can do, is get in here and just kind of rock them back and forth. Pull on their nuchal ligament here and just rock them. You can lean into them, do this type of stuff. This is what their mom does to them when they're babies, right? They do something good, the mom will get in here and just kind of nudge them and push on them. And that's how they show their affection. You know, but if the mom is upset, they bite, they kick, you know, they're nasty, right? They'll pin their ears, show their teeth, all that type of stuff. They'll paw at them. But horses love when you get in here and you just rock them just like this. They absolutely love that. See his head dropping down. It's weird, but it works. But patting, as much as I love to pat, it's like, you know, you want to tell your dog good boy, so you pat him, you know, you'll scratch him and kind of do a pat like that. But with horses, you really should never do it, because they don't understand the difference. As much as you think they do, they don't. All right, I'll get off that high horse too. Let's check him around to the right, see what he's going to do over here. Good boy, easy, easy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, good boy. Good boy. So here's a trick. So if your horse won't come around, you can take the lead rope, drape it over his back on the same side you're standing on. And now you can see what I'm doing here, right? I'm taking that lead rope and I'm just putting a little bit of pressure on it, right? So I'm just kind of asking him with my pressure point, and also asking him with the lead rope if he can come around. Good boy. Good boy. And this just gives them a good idea of what you want them to do. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. There. So you can just kind of work with your horses like that until they figure it out. Now, he's doing this, I think, because he's just not really too sure about me yet. So if I'm standing over here and I'm getting him to rotate around to the right, that means he has to take his eyes off of me, which he doesn't want to do that. So if your horse is acting like they're hesitant, or, you know, they're just not comfortable turning their head away from you, another good way you can check that range of motion is just to get on the same side, right? And you can get on the same side, and instead of using the pressure point, you can just put your hand up here. See how that little head pull back? Like he's like, oh shit, what are you doing? So I'm just waiting for a second. And then just get over here and just take the slack out of the halter, and then just tap it. Tap, tap, tap. You can see how he's coming around. Just tap, tap, tap. So now he can keep his eyes on me. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Whoop. Easy, easy, easy. Good boy. You can change your hand placement on the neck so it's not so aggressive. You know, if you keep it up at the pole, it might be a little bit more uncomfortable. So you can just kind of walk them around like that and just do that over and over and over and over until the horse is finally like, oh, okay, that actually feels good and I'm not going to die. So I'll go ahead and do that. Hello, Raven. Thanks for watching. Oh, let's see. The horses are scared of human hands. Yeah, I mean, the only time I would ever smack a horse, and I've obviously done it before, is if they go to try to bite. You know, if they try to bite, they get smacked in the mouth, because that's how they learn. Horses don't learn through positive reinforcement like a dog does. You know, a dog does something good, you give him a treat. You're walking the dog, he's staying close, you give him a treat. Dogs learn from that repetitive positive reinforcement. They're predatory animals. Horses are prey animals, so they learn in the opposite manner. So horses learn through negative reinforcement and through release of pressure. So you give a horse goodies, you know, you give a horse bennies by taking away the pressure, right? You're forcing them to do something, you're putting pressure on them, they do it, you take the pressure off. That tells the horse they did a good job. A treat doesn't tell the horse they did a good job. Conversely, you know, if a horse does something negative, you have to teach that horse that they did something bad through negative reinforcement. That's how they learn, you know. But you don't want to, you know, do something with your horse, he does a good job, and then give him a treat. You want to, if he does something good, you leave him alone. You leave him alone, you take the pressure off, and that will put into the horse's brain that he did something good. Especially if you can just, you know, they do something good, you get off of them, you can let them go graze, let them go eat their hay. That puts them into a deeper parasympathetic state, which is where learning occurs. That's where memory occurs. Think about it like this. If you're in a sympathetic state, you're being chased by a tiger, right? If you're being chased by a tiger, nothing's going into your long-term memory except, holy shit, I need to stay away from tigers, right? Like, that's obviously going into your long-term memory. But you're not in a state of learning when you're terrified. You're in the state of survival. It's the same thing with a horse. If a horse is in a sympathetic state, if they're in a state of fight or flight or in survival mode, they're not learning anything that's going to go into their long-term memory. But if you get them into that parasympathetic state where they're resting and digesting, right? Like they're eating, going to the bathroom after you do something well, or after they do something well, they're in that relaxed state. That's going to get locked into that long-term memory, and they're going to keep that in their long-term memory. So they learn a lot faster when you get off of them and get that pressure off of them when they do something good. Giving them a treat doesn't do anything as far as learning goes. So get off that soapbox. I'm getting all on soapboxes today. Yep, stimulate the parasympathetics. That's where learning occurs. Yeah, see, that's terrible. That's just going to make them super neurotic and anxious. Yeah, his neck is a little bit stiff. But you know, I don't think it's the neck. I think it's his brain. I think he's just an anxious, kind of a neurotic horse. Doesn't really want to relax a whole lot. So, you know, it would take a few sessions for him to get comfortable. So I'm going to check his pole. Ooh, we got a sore hyoid, sore pole on him as well. Let's see. And this could be why he's so anxious. Look at that. That's really sore. So definitely worse on the right than the left. I'm going to check hyoid too. So we got tenderness there, and the right side is even worse. So again, just like Wolverine, we got soreness on the right side hyoid and right side pole. So for Big Jake here, I'm going to take his tongue out to the left. If you were on my live while I was working on Wolverine, what am I going to repeat here multiple times? What's the one thing I'm not doing to his tongue right now that everybody goes, oh, you should never do that? Good boy. Good boy. Look how much he's moving that mandible around. He's just moving that left and right. You can see his tongue moving around. He's extending his pole. Very nice. And all I'm doing here is just holding the tongue. Holding, not pulling. Not pulling the tongue. Don't pull the tongue. Don't pull the tongue. I wonder how many times I can say it so it'll get into everybody's brain. It's like the people that call themselves equine osteopaths or the cranial sacral therapists, they're the worst. they just love to jump on any content that's doing well and try to get their name out there by trashing what you're doing. And the way they like to do that with me is, you should never pull the tongue. You don't know what you're doing. You're going to fracture the hyoid and the horse is going to die. Literally, they're so bad. Or they'll just go out and just be saying stuff like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's an idiot. You should never touch my horse. Or they'll say, I would never let you touch my horses. Meanwhile, the horse is sitting here licking and chewing and yawning and head below the withers and comfortable as heck. And, you know, they just love to say, don't pull the hyoid, even though I say in the videos multiple times, not pull the hyoid, but not to pull the tongue. And they'll say, you can fracture the hyoid, it's fragile. The hyoid is not fragile, and no research on the planet suggests that it's fragile. In fact, the only thing that the research shows is that if you excessively traction the hyoid, there's an extremely slight risk of hyoid damage. Extremely slight risk. That's what the research says. So anybody that says, don't pull the tongue, you'll break the hyoid, ask them to show you the research, because they're just telling you what they've heard from Joe Bob and Jim Bob at the barrel races, you know? They're not actually doing the research on their own. At least that's been my experience. So look at his body position. Look how nice and low his head is. Ears are nice and up, and he's nice and comfortable now. Hi, buddy. Let's check that pull on this side, because we just treated this side by taking the tongue out to that side, okay? So we're gonna go back up here, and we're just gonna palpate. Look at that. That's all gone. But never mess with the tongue, because you're going to fracture the hyoid. I don't know. I don't get it. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's crazy. It's the social media era, you know? Yeah, it's not dangerous. It's not dangerous in the least. I mean, that's what the research shows. So we're good on the right side. Now let's recheck the left. Okay, so we still have sensitivity on the left. A lot of the time, so here's the right side again, okay? Right side's fine, left side. So most of the time when I have a horse that's sore at both sides of their poll, we call that bilateral soreness. When I take the tongue out opposite the side that's most uncomfortable, so for him it was the right, so I took it out to the left. Usually that takes care of both sides. Sometimes though, there's still remnant soreness on the other side, which for him would be this left side. So he's still very cautious there. That's uncomfortable. So for him, I'm gonna take his tongue out to both sides, but the vast majority of the time, all you have to do is take it out opposite the most sore side, and it'll clear up them both. While I'm doing this, if you guys haven't hit that like button, I would sure appreciate it. And if you're enjoying this and you don't mind hitting the share button, I would love that as well. But I appreciate you guys hanging out and all the comments and everything. But please just take a split second and tap that like. I would really, really appreciate that. I think it's a thumbs up on YouTube. That just, you know, tells the algorithm that people are enjoying the content. It helps me out because it spreads the word a little bit, and YouTube will show it to more people. Good boy. And really, there's so much garbage on social media when it comes to horse care, especially body workers and all the nonsense that's out there. So it's good to get actual good, reliable content out to horse people. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. So again, I'm gonna let that go, let him lick and chew, let him move his head around, move that jaw around, and then I'll go back up there and recheck. That's right. Dang algorithms. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Doris. I appreciate it. Awesome. This is the first time I think we have more likes than we have active viewers at the moment. So thank you guys so much. 300 diamonds, I think is what that's telling me. Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the gifts. Since I got a captive audience here, what type of things? Hey, who's that? Callie? Hey, Callie and Cash. Hello, teeny tiny. If you guys were to subscribe to a membership on YouTube, right? Like a paid membership for a couple bucks a month. What type of content would you like to see if you were paying for it, right? So all my stuff right now is free. I don't go into a lot of the teaching stuff that I could do. I could be a little bit more, you know, I could go a little bit more in depth with all the teaching, maybe show you more anatomy, show you some more mobilizations and stretches and things like that. But what type of stuff would you like to see if you were to subscribe for, like, you know, $2, $3 a month? I'm just kind of curious. I know a lot of people on YouTube are doing really well with those types of memberships, but I just don't know what I would offer that I don't already offer on my normal streams. More anatomy? Okay, cool. What you paying me for, Cindy? Shirtless adjustments? Oh man, I think that's on another, that's for another platform, Gouda. Cindy would pay for that. Cindy would pay more than $2 for that, I think. So like a YMCA, you want me to be like a YMCA character while I'm adjusting horses? Thank you. Who's that? Who loves the horse? KHT, not my horse. He's the client's horse, but thank you. How to keep old horses fit with exercises. Perfect. So more stuff you can do. I can teach you more stuff that you can do for your horses. Cosplay. You guys are crazy. Oh my gosh. I knew I shouldn't have asked that question. Oh, good boy. So he's going to be a really good example of how even with kind of a neurotic, anxious horse, they still love their legs to be stretched. So if you have a horse that's nervous or anxious and you're getting ready to compete on them, one way to help get rid of some of that anxiety and that nervousness is just to stretch and mobilize their legs. They absolutely love it. It helps them to relax. Again, especially with an anxious or nervous horse, you want to go nice and slowly, right? Especially if it's their first time, because you can see he's a little nervous about it, but he's doing really well. Yeah, good boy. That's a good boy. That's good. And great way to build rapport and trust and relationship with your horses. Get them feeling better with these stretches. Good boy. Good boy. Super comfortable. Extending his leg is really good. Good boy. Good boy. Beautiful. That's awesome. That is the shoulder extension stretch that if you comment the word stretch in the comments, I'll be sending that to you when I'm done here. And there's a lot of different ways to do it depending on your size, your horse's size, you know, your strength, you know, your overall comfort level and the horse's comfort level. I go through the main way to do it in the free stretch, but in the ebook, I show you a few different ways to do a couple of these stretches where you can modify it a little bit in order to make it more comfortable for you and more comfortable for your horse. But in the freebie, I just show you the most common way that I do it, which is by resting his foot on my leg. And then I can just use my lower body to stretch him out. So I'm not putting a lot of strain and stress on my back and on my arms. This is a really comfortable way for me to do this. And it usually feels pretty good for the horses too. I feel like they think they're more stable when you have their leg on your leg, like they can use it as a more stable platform than if you just pick up their leg and bring it forward. Dang, flies just love this guy. Good boy. Oh, now he's really relaxing. Good boy. Oh, big release there. I didn't check this fetlock, so I'm going to do this one again real quick. Okay, yeah, that one's great. Beautiful. Come here, buddy. Good boy. All right, let's do his back legs. And then I'll stretch his TMJ and we'll be all done. Oh, buddy. Let's see. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Also, if I'm... Oh, that was beautiful. Also, if I'm working with a Did you guys hear that one? I'm sure you heard that one. That was huge. If I'm working with a nervous horse, I'll always do the front legs before the back legs because, you know, the front legs will get them to relax and then they'll be more trusting when I go do the hind legs. Huge. Beautiful, great ideas, appreciate it. It's so hard to see the screen out here in the sunlight. Thanks for all the likes, guys, I really appreciate it. Awesome, awesome, beautiful. All right, let's check his right hind. Move him over so you guys can see him a little better. Good boy, good boy. Ooh, 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 nope. You stand right here. Oh, oh, good boy. Good boy. Oh, oh. Okay, let's check this side. Oh, see, my brain almost went like, okay, pat time. I was almost gonna pat his butt. But it's a hard habit to break. Really hard habit to break. Oh, good boy. Oh, oh. Good boy. Good boy. All right, let's check this side. I guess I could change my camera angles. Oh, beautiful, both sides. I could change my camera angles a little bit if people are paying a membership. Thank you, Stephanie. Beautiful. Are you asking people to help you get a horse in a Speedo, Cindy? Good day, inverted banana dude. Interesting name. I wish I had a little bit of creativity in my brain where I could come up with some interesting names, but Sport Horse Chiropractic, that's as creative as I get. So this is the TMJ pressure point, and you can see why it works so well that he's doing. As soon as you get on it, it's chewing, extension, moving that mandible back and forth, really working everything from hyoid to TMJ to pole. This is really great. Very good stretch to do before and after you ride. Before, the reason why is because there's more mechanoreceptors in the TMJs than any other joint in the body. And when you fire the TMJs and they stretch and you really stretch that joint capsule, there's a bunch of mechanoreceptors in that joint capsule that sends positional information, or what we call proprioceptive information, to the brain. And that information tells the brain the positions of the joints in space. So if you get that TMJ firing and it's flooding the brain with all this positional information, and he knows the position of the TMJs, that helps the brain determine the position of the pole, and it works itself all the way back so that they can control their bodies better and control where they're placing their feet a lot better, which is why no matter where the client says the horse is experiencing an issue, I always mobilize and stretch every single area, because I'm trying to get all that proprioceptive information to go up to the brain so that the horse can more accurately place its feet. It's kind of like a recalibration. And when you stretch the TMJs, you're flooding the brain with all that positional information, and it allows them to use their bodies more efficiently and more effectively. Because the TMJs are the primary way that the horse's brain knows that its head is positioned correctly, that its head is straight. If I have a head tilt this way, and I'm going to over exaggerate, you're going to have a lot more pull on this TMJ than you will on this TMJ. And that pull tells the horse's brain that it has a head tilt. If it has a head tilt, or the brain thinks it has a head tilt, what's it going to do? It's going to drop the shoulder. Now my eyes are level, but my shoulders are off kilter. So now what does the body do? It adjusts the hips. So now my head's on straight and my shoulders are level, but my hips are jacked up. And now people are like, oh, my horse is having issues short striding or cross-firing or whatever in his hind end. But the reason is because the hind end is operating with the head that's like this and a shoulder that's dropped, but you just can't tell because the pelvis and the hips are taking all of that pressure away, and they're compensating back there. So now their movement's not going to be correct. So it's why you really have to check the entire body, no matter where you see the issue coming from with their movement. I'm a big nerd. I'm a big nerd, Gouda. Big anatomy and neuro nerd for sure. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate it. Let me know when you get it, Alice. Yeah, much happier. Look how low his head is. Got that head down below the withers. That's a beautiful thing. It's what I'm after. I really want to correct their movement, but oh, relax, big guy. A lot of the way you correct their movement is by allowing them to relax, right? If they're stressed in the brain, they're going to be stressed in the body, and he's not going to be able to use his body correctly if he's got all this tension throughout his musculoskeletal system. Easy, easy. Remember, this side was the most sore side of his pole and hyoid, and you can see he's kind of showing me that when I'm asking him to stretch the TMJ. So easy, 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 easy. So we're just gonna go in there nice and easy, easy, easy. Good boy, good boy, easy, good boy, good boy. Oh, oh, easy, easy, good boy. Oh, oh. It's all right. Come on. Wolverine just darted away, passing gas on his way by. Good boy. So let's see if he's got any soreness in his TMJ here. Nope. And that pole's still holding steady. So this just might be a situation where this horse, you know, maybe he's had some bad things done to his mouth, or you know, he's not real fond of medication, and he thinks if I'm putting my finger in his mouth, he's about to get some medication. You never really know. So I just try to stick with it and let them figure it out. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Good boy. I try not to let go when they pull away, because if I do, then they figure out, oh, all I have to do is pull myself back and he'll let go, you know, and then they start to develop this habit of just pulling away every time. So I try to stay with it as much as I can and drive by farting. You thank the pilot? Cindy, were you praying on the airplane? I think you might have been praying on the airplane. That's hilarious. Computer, skydiving, guitar, photography nerd. Wow, that's quite the that's quite the list, Gouda. Very diverse. All right, we are all done. And he's gone. I'm like, I'm out of here. All right, well, thank you guys so much. We had a couple horses there. I appreciate you guys hanging out for both praying and crying. Oh my God. Pokemon cards. Dragon's a Pokemon card person. I think everything's pretty boring compared to skydiving. I don't know what would be more exciting than that. I did some parasailing out in Colombia in December. That was pretty awesome. I haven't been skydiving yet, but I think that's next on the list for sure. Absolutely. Thanks, Gertrude. Thank you, guys. Hey, Jesse. Or Jace, sorry. Screwed that up. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys are subscribed and following the channel so you can hop on during my next live. I'll try to do more YouTube lives going forward. It's just been real slow, especially in the mornings, and that's when I usually go live. So I typically go and do my lives on TikTok. So if you're not following me on TikTok, just go to TikTok, search up Sport Horse Chiropractic, and you'll find me very easily. Hey, aloha, Lonnie. I control my own schedule. Why, do you need some horses done out in Hawaii? Please? All right, you guys can walk back with me real quick. I don't know, Gouda. I think I might reschedule some clients if I can go out to Hawaii. I think my schedule is wide open for Hawaiian clients. Yeah, good seeing you, Cindy. Thank you for Thank you for showing up and letting us all know you're still alive. Hope to see you on another one soon. Oh, you just booked it. All right, you guys, have a wonderful day. Thank you guys very much, and I will see you on my next one.